Okay. I am live. That's great. Okay. All right. Of course, I'm here and I'm going to wait. Whether people join or not, I'm just going to start talking and maybe I'm going to keep this up, keep this video up. All right. While I'm on here are a couple of things that I want to share with the internet space. Can we agree to maybe not do some of the stuff that we have been doing? And that is, I really hope that this is live. This is my first time doing it. So this will be quite interesting how it turns out. Um, Actually, I'm just gonna stay on here and not talk and see what other fun humans, people that are doing whatever they're doing with their time will show up. But also, I don't want to just sit here and not say what I want to say. hmm Hmm. There are a couple of things that I do sit and then talk to myself about. And one of those things has to do with, oh yes, definitely, my rant yesterday. All right, individuals that are watching this, you that are on TikTok and you that are on the Instagram, you're the ones creating our fashion trends. Some of us need plain shirts. Some of us need plain clothing. Every other clothing that's out there for people to buy, they have decorations that we, the adult individuals, don't necessarily agree with or want to wear because the trend from Instagram, the trends from TikTok, that's what's creating our fashion choices that we see available to us in stores. So I had a long conversation with myself in the car about this. And as I'm doing this live stream, it feels different compared to if I was talking about myself. And now I'm absolutely distracted by my lips. Ooh, okay. So I think I'm going to end this and then make a video and then post it. Although in the age of perfectionism, in the age of let me trim and edit this, maybe this is nice, this is healthy. This is healthy. I'm out here on here. I do have plans about things that I want to speak on. I was I was scrolling on, it's not Reddit. I was scrolling on the podcast here. Seriously? Am I blanking? Precisely. Mm. Well, I was scrolling on Spotify. Spotify is the name of the podcast that I cannot remember. What the heck? And I'm saying what the heck when I know darn well what some of the interference that leads to me not remembering certain things. Sometimes there are energetic interference, there are psychic interference, there are other non-human explained interference that will make a person not remember what it's literally at the forefront of their thinking for them to actually speak about. But like I said, the psychic interference, the other spiritual interferences does prevent one from actually remembering that thing that they want to speak on. So Spotify is the app that I was trying to remember. I'm on Spotify and I've just now made a decision not to give two fracks and just be this regular person in life and not focus too much on about the cookie cutter ways that we try to create personas online and any of that other stuff that people do. Yep, I'm deciding to actually do that by me doing this. I'm on Spotify and I'm scrolling, and not just from this particular video on Spotify that I saw, but it is something that I've been viewing from the thumbnails here on YouTube. And I thought to myself to make a video about it. And here I am now making a live recording to actually speak on. And that is when people make videos trying to help women, specifically, there are there is a large group, mainly men, and some of them now women, that are making content to help other women. Oftentimes, their topic, that's centering on helping women, it's not so helpful. It's actually showing a person in the light that is not so flattering. And I'm here sitting, listening to what the video content is about, and oftentimes it's about, well, this is what you should do to just be beautiful, to level up. Don't dress this way. Don't put that in your body. Don't do all of these things. Great advice. Oh, wow. Look at my lips. Yeah, it is really, really dry. The kids say cringe. Oh, yeah. I am giving full on cringe right now. And I think it's okay. Anywho's, as I'm listening to some of these videos and their content is intending to help, but as they're doing that helping, with the large amount of help that's coming, it seems like targeting. It seems like you're going after someone. And without saying the celebrity name, everyone's out there is, everyone that is a woman that's getting boob job, like women getting boob jobs. This one particular video was speaking particularly on this celebrity individual that got a boob job and gave specific details of the size, the cut, the material that they put in her boobs. Like, she gave that description, and the regular humans that responded were many, as rightfully as they should. Now, although they're rightfully doing that, a lot of content stemming from trying to protect other people, not to do this, not to do that, it just seems like target, 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 targeted, target, target. It just seems targeting. As someone who's out here on the internet without makeup, I need to go put on a lip gloss, but I'm not going to do that because I'm just not going to do it. As someone who's out here just being regular, I'm observing these people say these things with the intention to want to help, with the intention to want to guide this other young person. With the number and the frequency and the consistency and the large amount of people who are intending to help, it seems like a lot of target on women. Now, of course, before 2020, I believe, I used to watch this channel from this particular, I used to listen to the video from this guy, and his whole platform was built on helping women, helping them be their best sexy self so that they can help please their man, and just telling them how great they are. But his content did not stop at telling women about the goodness that he appreciated about them. It went on to tell them basically how to be women. And as someone who is in the gender, he he interested me. He interested me because, of course, the psychic, spiritual, intuitive part of me just had to pay more attention to him. And I paid more attention to him because there was something about him, even though the commentary from his mouth is sounding very praiseworthy, sounding very wholesome, there was just that psychic part about me, that spiritual part about me that I know is alive and well and thriving, that made me kept coming to his video because I couldn't place my finger on it, but I just wanted to hear more what he has to say. And I was interested in him, not because he's good looking or not because of what he's saying is praiseworthy. It was just very odd for someone who did not reincarnate into the gender of a woman, but reincarnated into the gender of a man and then go on to point out particular specific detail telling that other gender how they should be. That's why that man was interesting to me. The praises that he was saying, that was that I put that to the side and I kept listening to his content. Again, it sounds good. I did that off and on, not like I was a follower of his or as a subscriber, but whenever I'm on YouTube and his video popped up, I would click on it. And he's just saying all of these things, and that, not following this person intentionally, but again, the algorithm suggests the video, I'll watch it. That ish went on for however long, and came to come to find out, this man, this man that's saying all of these things, telling women how to be, he's not walking the path. He is not saying, he's basically was faking some type of something else. And why the frack am I saying that? Oh, yes, I'm saying that because he is one of several dozens. As I don't know what age the person is that is viewing this, but for some of us that live under a rock, and I'm not joking when I say this, I live under a rock, and every now and then I come on YouTube. I will view certain videos based off of the thumbnail of the thumbnail, and I'm constantly now binging things on Spotify that the Spotify algorithm recommends to me. When I'm done binging that, I'll just go and live my regular life. So that's what I do when I say I live under a rock. But when I come from up under that rock and I'm on Spotify, I see there is just a consistent behavior. Yes. And I think the individual that's viewing this and anyone that's honest with themselves that is online to some extent, like let's just park it at 4 hours in a day, you start to see consistent behavior in the humans that are posting things. You start to see consistent messages. Now, it may sound like, oh, well, the algorithm is just giving you more of what you're watching. No, that is not the case at all. That is not the case at all. Humans are doing certain foolish behavior, certain nonsense behavior that we are all seeing, and it's looking like trends. That nonsense behavior is actually showing itself like trends, and it's showing itself like people are not dating one another, people don't want to be friends with one another. Like that is the trend we're seeing. It is nonsense behavior that is making these things happen. So I don't think the algorithm is just showing me more of what I'm watching. It is something that we as humans, as we are doing collectively, the nonsense of that is what's showing itself. So, anywho's, uh, I'm seeing on YouTube, and people are just saying particular things that are seemingly helpful, but it looks like targeting women. It looks like targeting women, and that doesn't sit right with me at all. That does not sit right with me at all. Men have their own thing they're doing. Mind you, the only time I heard about men doing anything or being any type of way when I was on the dating scene. And that was around, when did I start actually actively screening men for dating? Oh, it was around 2015, 2016. That's how far. And people started speaking about red pill this, red pill that. I couldn't tell you even then what that means. So that was how long I heard about whatever grievances that men had. And I cannot repeat it to you verbatim what those grievances are because I don't know what they are. So that should tell you maybe my limited experience with the internet or how little I engage with the content. But as I am on the internet, here on YouTube, few hours a day, and on Spotify for most of the day, a lot of the content is centered around women targeting other women, men targeting women. What the heck are what's happening? That is a nonsense behavior that does not bode well at all. That's not a trend that is healthy in any way, shape, or form. This is the one gender that we ought to not do that nonsense to, okay? It just does not bode well. It is not a trend that society can walk up and away from. No, not at all. So that uselessness should stop itself right now. That useless behavior must stop itself because the examples of men that are telling women how to be women, again, some of us listen to those content because the psychic part of me was trying to communicate something to me, and it's just like, yeah, watch this person, just watch them. And lo and behold, that person just, not because I was watching them, but there was just a reason I would wanted to hear more about that individual. And it came out where they were up to no good. They were people say humans have different psychological phrases and other terms that they apply when a person is literally using their own insecurity to tell you, the external party, that you're the one doing that wrong thing. There's a psychological phrase for that. And many of you are probably aware of what that phrase is. So maybe that is what my psychic sense was trying to tell me. And now my psychic sense, my psychic abilities is telling me that the human people are up to some bullshit. And the human people being men and women, women too, that are targeting other women and say, get off of social media. Don't do this, don't do that. It's like you want to help the person, but the manners that you're doing so and in the public way, let's just say it that way. We women, we are private beings. Society has now created some type of uselessness to convince the very private entity that is a woman that, oh, no, 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 in your empowerment, in your this and everything else, it is okay to do these sacred things publicly. And that sacred things that other people are doing is to give important information to their female brethren, but they're giving that important information publicly. And that need not be that case. So that is the useless behavior that I'm seeing other women do. As far as the men that are doing that, I, as a woman, it is not even gatekeeping. It is like, okay, you're now walking this skin. You have no idea what the heck you're talking about. You've listened to possibly the women around you. You definitely possibly have watched videos here on the internet because now you have that information available to you, sadly. That shouldn't be the case. But it is most sad that men, the sex, the gender that is men, the information that they have because it was freely given to them online, that shouldn't be the case. So as far as those people telling a woman how to be, how she should do this or do that, I just don't even I don't take it 100% as proof of anything, because in order for me to take someone advice, I would have to go seek it out. So that useless behavior, I'm not even counting it. It is the brethren of women, and it is possible their psychic ability, because we are all psychic, men and women are. So it's possible that men and women whose psychic abilities are signaling to them to warn one another, but they women particularly, and my gender of womanhood, womankind, yes, those human beings, they know the sacredness in our privacy. They know it. It is one of those, I'm not even going to say girls' code, but I believe it is a primal thing. It is maybe not primal, but it is something to our beingness. It has to be private. They know that, but again, the internet or modern have convinced people that, well, in the age of empowerment, you are most empowered when you are public. And not only are you public, but if you go on saying these very, very private things about your beingness, you are the most real person there is. You are the most authentic. The more that you make your very private business public, you are then very real to us. And that is the outrageous uselessness I never want to witness, because it is the opposite. What they are convincing people about, you're telling someone that as they become more public with you, they share more sacred private things with you, they are just now real. It is the opposite. It is the opposite. It is the freaking opposite. There is energetic and psychic, yes, spiritualness that I feel when I hear and I actually am listening to things that people are saying outrageously. Examples, I don't have any. Because if you're on the internet, in order to connect more of what I'm saying, I'm not interested to give gory details, because that is more of the same thing that I'm talking about. People are coming with receipts, taking those receipts from TikToks, and they're like, look at this person dressing this way. Oh my goodness, how dare them do this? By them giving those receipts, they are doing the same thing. Doing the same thing of displaying a behavior, making it more public. I'm not on TikTok, but when you go into the TikTok space, you pull that video from there, you come and put it on YouTube when that person from TikTok did not put that information here on YouTube. You are further creating more public display and stepping further away from the privacy that is womanhood, and everything that they are convincing other people about, like the other, like the example that I gave about that particular man that is like convincing women how they should be more women. Well, there are other women that are trying to convince other women how they should be more of something, but that more of something that they're telling the individuals, they're telling women to be, is based off of a lot of fictitious society standards that are so fickle and changeable. And by them convincing other women to change into this, they're displaying more public examples and just targeting, like I was saying earlier. It just feels more targeting. It feels more targeting. My right ear is itching. And as I stay under the rock, my body does different things where it communicates to me. And that is one of the things that I'm just like, huh? I didn't even know this was possible, that the body can communicate to you. Yes and no, don't do this, don't do that. Hold on. It's a communication that is so very freaking new. And whatever that I knew to be psychic, spirituality as what they call it is just literally teaching me a lot of new things. So my right ear is itching. Anywho's, being more public is not it. Basically, mm, stay away from women. Other women that are seemingly helping women by showing them in certain light to further drive home their point about whatever that advice you want to give the person. I mean, I would say you ought to know. That wouldn't be the appropriate term if I were to say that. So I'm not going to say you ought to know. Just think about it. Think about the gender that is womankind, because it's not just womanhood, it's womankind. Mankind, I'm not a man. I don't have any of the organs or anything like that to showcase and actually validate that. Organic organs. Organic organs. I don't have any of the organic organs to validate that I'm a man. So when women are out here trying to help another woman, when that womankind feels into the extent of how that which she is saying can be used, not just today, maybe not tomorrow, but how that can be used by something else, that womankind would know exactly what I'm talking about, because this is not, oh, I have important information and I'm keeping it for myself. No. Womanhood as a general group of beings, womankind, we have access to information that we just have access to. We just have access to information that we do. It is not a, oh well, men don't have access to it too. I don't know. I would have to be a man to figure out whether I have access to it. So I don't care if the man has access to it or not. Ladies that are setting out to help other ladies, it is possible maybe we can do so by not showing examples of the outrageous behavior, because by showing that, these men are out there, they literally use those video and see, the women don't get along, they never get along anyways, they're after each other. I was trying to make this thing short, but yes, let me just go into a 5 minute rant. I have had the unpleasantness of a man literally trying to, not explain to me, but tell me that, well, you women, y'all don't get along either, too. And I'm looking at the person's like, and how the hell would you know that? How would you know that we don't get along? That is a make up thing that people who are men, they pull that information based off of what they see out on the internet. Based off of what they see on the internet. And when they click on videos that other women make to inform other women, men are listening to those videos. Why are they listening to those videos? I have no freaking clue. But when I had the displeasure of someone actually saying that to my face, I psychically felt into what the person was saying. So I didn't have any comment to add to that, because in whatever future that we're going to, the people that we call mankind will learn to stay the heck away from woman's business. Mankind will learn to stay the heck out of woman's business. Okay? It just will. Because this is not going anywhere good for where we as a group of people want to lead our life. So for a person that I'm interacting with in daily life to have that nerve to say that to me, I know they have been on the internet. They have been on your Reddits, your Discord, your YouTube, your Twitter, just the internet. And they are seeing things, hearing things, and taking a lot of information out of context, and then just assuming, well, you all don't get along anyways. As a matter of fact, you all behave terribly with one another. That's another thing that was said to me. Not just one man has said that to my face before, but it's like, you women are actually terrible to one another. And I'm like, where would you even get that from? What proof do you have of that? But those individuals actually go, why would I actually want to watch a video to watch a man being unhelpful, disrespectful, rude to another man? Why would I want to arm myself with that information to then possibly what? Throw it back in the man's face to say, well, you man, you don't get along. I don't need proof to know that not two men are equal, meaning they're not equal in intelligence, they're certainly not equal in strength. Meaning, by lay example, a guy can go training at the gym and lift 500 pounds, and another man can lift 1,000 pounds. And the one that's probably lifting the lowest weight, when they go to fight one another, whoever wins, wins. Whoever wins, wins. But just to assume that they are of the same gender, meaning that they are equal in strength and intelligence, I don't need proof of that. I don't need to watch men interact with one another to have any proof that say, oh wow, he dominated him in the conversation. Oh my god, he dominated him as they were fighting. I don't want to watch you fight because I'm not interested in it. I'm not interested in it. It's icky. It's ill. Just the exact same way when another man is in an argument with another man, whoever is putting the other one down in that argument, that is not a pleasant sight for me at all. So it is not an entertainment for me to watch that. I just know that in life, that two people can be of the same sex, but they wouldn't just be equal in intelligence or strength. They are just not equal. Evident of our hands, right? Our hands, our fingers, yeah, they're not equal. Yeah. So whenever I am in my regular life and I've had the displeasure of people say those things to me, I didn't waste my breath to argue. Oh yeah, this is chipping. I didn't waste my breath to argue or prove to this other person that they were wrong. I know you're wrong. I know you're wrong because that person wasted their time to get that fact and was looking for a moment in their life to offload that information to another woman to say, oh, yeah, 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 I'm a man. I do know about y'all. Uh huh. I know about y'all. Spiritually, psychically, that's exactly what's communicated to me whenever a man, regardless of your age, whenever a man has said that to me, the psychic and spiritual communication that I get from him, that his mouth did not say, is that I went on to study your gender because I'm insecure very much about something. And that insecurity is driving me to learn about your gender. Why? I couldn't tell you. I'm not the one out there doing the studying. So I have not wasted my time at all to offer an explanation or to quote unquote defend womankind. I don't waste my breath to defend womankind to such a person that is not my gender. But I'm on here saying that there is a useless behavior that's happening, and the womankind group here in society needs to know that helping other women by showing particular details, especially as those details reflect women in not so good light. Understand, the eyes and ears that are listening are stacking up information that does not bode well. And it is also a certain loop that I'm seeing that is not helpful. It is not helpful to society. So I was pondering with I was just thinking, okay, well, As I don't want things happening this way, what does that mean then? Do we start having meetings behind closed doors? Remember when the older group would joke and say, "Oh, these women, they're having their private meetings, or they got into a meeting and they decided that this would happen or that would happen." I don't remember verbatim what the exact joke is, but it is a joke that I've heard before. So that joke has reminded me, well, what if we started to have meetings behind closed doors, whether in person or virtually? I don't know. I don't have a particular solution. This solution rests with every woman that is a part of womanhood, that is part of womankind. That it's not, it's possibly not even one solution. It's possibly several solutions, and can happen in a lot of flexible places in a lot of flexible ways. But womanhood has to come up with that solution. Womanhood has to create it, because there is a it is a trend that is not new. It is a trend that has shown itself in the false empowerment. And that false empowerment looks like, well, I'm going to bear it all and I'm going to tell it all, but whilst doing so is providing photocopying, like photocopying ways that like, someone else can copy. And people just people are trying to help other people. It's just that this trend, I don't like it. I don't know what. Oh, let me fix my laptop. So I aspire to do a little bit more of this, whatever this is. Whatever this is, I aspire to do a little bit more of it, as apparently the kids out there, people younger than me on the TikTok or Instagram, they just want to get up in life and just say, well, all the realness about life, or things that they don't want to show up in person with, because for them it's just not a good look. It's not a good look to be human. All the imperfections that come with humaning, they're like, it's not a good look, it's not a good look. And I'm not on here because I'm trying to change that. I just am on here because I'm like, I'm going to say what I want to say, and as the thought form organize itself, that's okay. Yeah, we are going to do that. So womankind, I expect that group to be the ones that's feeling this. um, Womankind, if it is possible that we are devising the solutions, it is possible also maybe we don't tell the exact specific recipe of what those solutions would look like, because I suspect there is something that is unnaturally interested in womankind, unnaturally interested in womanhood, and it is not to our benefit, especially with the pseudo empowerment and everything else. I don't appreciate when other women are sharing good things to help other women, but in the light that they're doing so, it isn't it isn't dignifying, it isn't respectful. The words they're saying isn't they're not cussing at them. It's just, when you pull a video from the Instagram and TikTok place to say, look at this behavior, this is the behavior that we want to not do. That person that is going through that particular behavior, that person is in various phases and stages of change. That womankind, that particular womanhood that you are intending to help with your message, spiritually, psychically, they're likely under a lot of freaking attack. And that attack is looking like the behavior. Okay, fine. Maybe I shouldn't call it attack. As I'm sitting here, We call them guardian angels. So that's one of the ways that we know to explain. But as they are around me, when I say certain things, they will nudge by making sounds on the various items within the household here. So when I said attack, they nudge me, don't go there. So possibly it is not that. My point is, I don't find this fascinating, and that's why I don't click on those videos because I already know me and the antenna that goes how it wants to go. But I've had the misfortune of clicking on some of those videos, and I can kid you not, I always have a hard time looking the person in their eyes because when I look, I see exactly what they don't want others to see. I see it. And you, womankind, you know this. Womankind, the womanhood group that is making the videos to support other women, when you look at the individuals, you are seeing the outrageous behavior. You are seeing the boob jobs. You are seeing things that you describe as not fitting the society script. But as you see the outcome of what doesn't fit society script, you psychically, you spiritually, you energetically see the causations that the person might be going through. They, they need not even tell you any awfulness that they've been through in their life. They need not tell you. But the group that is womankind that has gone through true interaction with life here on this earth, interaction with men and women alike, we know how that how that can cause issue and how that issue can create a reaction that would look like the behaviors that others go out to satisfy themselves with the things that they do, sadly. And it is possible we can speak around it. Yes, it is possible for the group that you know that we are. And you know exactly what I mean. You need not expand on this anymore. Because if we need to get to the point to speaking with one another in codes, you can say something and I will know exactly what you mean without you putting out the verbal words to it. You, the group that is womankind, you know we are capable and beyond capable speaking to one another in codes without giving recipe details of the words that someone else that someone can then use those particular words and go to figure out what we mean. That is the length of the understanding that you know, I know, that we can communicate at. And if a person isn't there yet, that means they, who is woman as well, have their rite of passages that they ought to go through to receive that you can call it divine, I guess. Yeah, that is true. That they can receive that divine understanding, that divine communication. So, um, aha, which is, oh my goodness, that makes sense. Because other women who have gone through the rigors of life and have the wisdom, they've had that rite of passage. So it is possible womankind then, if you call it gatekeeping, yeah, sure, that's fine too. It is possible that they ought to keep that and not just say, well, I want to help her. Look, if I don't help her, she might be a victim of such and such and such. Well, if it is possible, we then see it as, well, that person's going through their rite of passage. That person is going through their rite of passage and respecting that the rite of passage has a lot of blessings and other goodness that comes with it, and then respecting this other individual that's going through their rite of passage, and it might look like they're just bearing it all out, like physically, not even, I'm not even speaking metaphorically. Physically, they are bearing it all for all else to see. Well, Understanding that when we all go to sleep, womankind, you do know that we communicate not only with our thoughts, but we communicate with a lot of things that you know that we communicate with without even our mouth moving. So the person that we're trying to advise, warn, or steer away from, the more of what they see, the more of the area that they are in, that environment helps that person that is in that, let's just say, unwell, unhealthy situation. That unhealthy situation in itself is then communicating to that other person, you should you should get out of this. You should get out of this. So, womankind, it is possible for us not to target one another. Yes, these are the people that is the opposite sex. They're using that information, they're using that to further educate themselves on something that they have no business educating themselves. No, it is not a place. As I'm talking, I kid you not, in my right ear, there are literally psychic words coming through. And it's like, well, we want to understand. No, you don't. You don't want to understand. What are you talking about? You don't need to understand the populace. Any not even naive, it is a useless excuse of understanding. I did not set out in life when I decided to go have a boyfriend. I did not keep male friends because I'm like, I want to understand you how you men are so that when I get a boyfriend who will ultimately be a husband, so that I can understand men more. And no young girl is setting out to do that because she is just so busy within her own world, rightfully so. It is a world that is worthy for her to be busy in, in her womanhood. So we women are not out here keeping men friends because it's like, well, I want to understand you so that I can better communicate with my boyfriend, so I can better communicate with my, significant other. Because what other reason would I have to associate myself with other men? What other reason would I have to view videos from other men, with the exception of I'm educating myself about my health. I'm educating myself on a topic that is purposeful in my life, like if I want to repair my shoe and the video I watch is being recorded by a host. If I want to repair something in my house, like a chair that's broke and I want to repair it, I go and watch a video online and the recorder is a man. In that particular context, it is not only appropriate, but it's freaking necessary because I need to repair something like a chair. I'm not trying to paint my toenails because if I'm painting it, then I would likely, me personally, I would likely select my teacher audience to be a woman. That's just how that math flows for me. So the group that is womankind, the group that is womanhood is specific to one individual. I don't even know why I have to explain that because she would already know that. She just would. And if she doesn't know that, that means she is in that stage of developing, and she does not need to bother herself with much of the adult complexities yet, because girlhood has its own wisdom that it teaches such individual that is in her girlhood. It teaches her a lot of things that she needs to know, so she need not concern herself with the womanhood aspect yet. So everything is a rite of passage, everything is progression. So to the adult womankind in their womanhood, wanting to help other women, and they're making these videos, as you make those videos, maybe we start to engage and pivot a bit to just make a plain video without showing any visual receipts. I think what I'm picking up in the airs is I'm particularly now sick of the visual receipts. The visual receipts look like video receipts of other people doing useless behavior. And of course, those useless behavior, others are picking it up as unhealthy to that particular individual. And then when they show how the person is doing the useless behavior, and then they share other details, but the man is watching. The man is having more information about what he need not have access to. So that's it. I'm just gonna leave that here. Oh my.